For the second salmon recipe, I picked a baked teriyaki salmon and veggies recipe from a website called Le Creme de la Creme. This recipe, you have the option of either using a store-bought teriyaki sauce or making a teriyaki sauce based on their ingredients and instructions. So obviously for this review, I will be making their teriyaki sauce so I can reveal the full recipe. The ingredients is just mainly 4 6-ounce salmon fillets, and they have a recommended list of veggies to use, but they also say you can just substitute the veggies here for any veggies that you prefer or have available. I'm planning to use bell peppers, red onions, and broccoli. For the teriyaki sauce, I did notice that the sweetener is brown sugar this time. In the previous teriyaki sauce recipe, the sweetener was maple syrup. So I'm pretty interested to see how that will turn out. And looking at the instructions, the salmon and veggies will be baked at 400 degrees after we season it with oil, salt, and pepper, and also drizzle the teriyaki sauce over it. So this oven-based recipe looks really simple and easy to follow. Even making your own teriyaki sauce, I think it'll be high in the cookability rating. But that's it for the recipe review, and let's get to cooking. All right, so let's check out the ingredient. We got 2 whole peppers sliced up. There's like quite a lot of peppers. I don't know if we had the same size peppers in mind for this recipe, so we'll see if we can fit everything on the pan. We have 1 red onion sliced up, some broccoli, and we have our salmon fillets. I did not get the value pack this week. I made a kind of had like a brain fart when I was grocery shopping. You can see that this salmon is the best cuts of the salmon, but it is $20. And compared to that value pack mega size salmon that I got last week for what, $23, that salmon was like at least 30 to 40% bigger than this salmon. So we definitely made a mistake in the grocery store this week. And don't worry though, I will not hold it against this recipe. That was my mistake. So we have oil, cooking spray for the pan so that the veggies and stuff don't stick. And there is a teriyaki sauce recipe, and the teriyaki sauce will be going on the salmon. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and make the sauce first because it's gonna take the longest. And while I'm making the sauce, I'm also gonna set the oven to the desired temperature. Okay, so the sauce is heating up. It's gonna be at a boil soon, I think. Actually, it's getting really, really close to boiling. So I'm gonna go ahead and start preparing the cornstarch. All right, we got the starch. I'm gonna add it in. Okay, and let me stir. So here we're going to keep stirring until the cornstarch works as magic. Get it nice and thick and creamy. And after the sauce has thickened, we'll be topping it off with some sesame seeds. I don't really have any way to measure this out because my tablespoon measure was like kind of dirty from the honey and stuff. So I'm just gonna just eyeball it. Okay, that looks like enough sesame seeds. Let's go ahead and remove from the heat. After finishing the sauce, I proceeded to season the salmon and veggies with salt and pepper and avocado oil. Didn't realize I left the camera on during this time, but I get all my ingredients from a Texas supermarket chain called HEB. HEB actually blew up on Reddit recently because of a series of shitposts. Man, after reading those threads, I couldn't keep a straight face anymore whenever I go to the fish section at HEB. So yeah, if you guys want to read something really funny, check out HEB Fish Market Girl. All right, so you can see I have Added salt and pepper to the salmon and the veggies. I oiled everything up so that hopefully nothing burns. And now we have the sauce ready. The recipe says to add 2/3 of the sauce before baking. So that's what we're gonna do. So we add the remaining sauce right before we eat it. This looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. So let me go ahead and stick it in the oven. The recipe said to bake it between 15 to 20 minutes. Whenever a recipe does that, I always just take the middle. So I baked it for 18 minutes. And looks like everything is more or less cooked. I'm not sure if the veggies are completely cooked through, but I mean, looks good. So I think the salmon is definitely cooked through. The final step is to add the remaining teriyaki sauce. So this recipe does say you're supposed to like serve it with, you know, rice or pasta. That's probably why you have all this like extra sauce. I would imagine the sauce would go really well with rice or pasta. But for this taste test, we are just going to taste the salmon and the veggies because that's what it is in the recipe. And we'll give a rating after our taste. I feel that oven-based recipes are just so convenient and great to learn because while that salmon was baking in the oven, I had extra time to take a shower and change my clothes and get ready to eat. I'm a pretty big teriyaki fan. So it might be my bias here, but dude, it tastes like a 9 out of 10. Like, you could go to like, you know, just like a regular restaurant, and you probably get like the same quality of salmon, teriyaki salmon, at like just any basic restaurant. We're not talking about like Michelin stars, right? Obviously, but this big salmon recipe with this teriyaki sauce is a 9 out of 10. So that's taste holistically, right? So let's talk about cooking the recipe. In terms of, you know, just putting the veggies, the salmon, 2/3 of the sauce, salt and pepper into the oven, like you can't really beat that. In terms of cookability, on the salmon side, it's just a 10 out of 10 because it was so simple. There's only like 5 or 6 ingredients and then you just salt and pepper it. Straight up 10 out of 10 cookability. It was just really, really simple. The sauce was not that hard to make, to be honest. I thought it would take a lot longer to boil, to bring to a boil and then, you know, reduce the heat. Actually, it did not take long at all, and I was able to do it all within the time frame of my oven heating up to the desired temperature of 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So I was gonna knock the sauce down in terms of cookability, but because it was actually really easy, the cookability of the sauce is a 9. Let's just like ignore the sauce. I think we can just say cookability is like a 10 for the recipe as a whole, or I guess you could do like a 9. I mean, you could average out to the 9.5, right? This is really solid. I like it a lot. It tastes great. It's easy to make. You really can't go wrong. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.